Thanks for tuning in to the Drive On podcast, where we're focused on giving hope and strength to the entire military community. Whether you're a veteran, active duty, guard, reserve, or a family member, this podcast will share inspirational stories and resources that are useful to you. I'm your host, Scott DeLuzio, and now let's get on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome back to Drive On. I'm your host, Scott DeLuzio, and today my guest is Phil Anderton. Phil is a Navy veteran who's here to discuss his story, how he reevaluated his role as a leader in his family, and how others can use that same mindset to reframe their role in their family. And we're going to get to that in just a minute. But first, I want to welcome you to the show, Phil. I'm really glad to have you here.
Hey, Scott, thank you very much. Thank you for this opportunity. And yeah, for those who don't know, just a guy who retired after 20 years. And in that 20 years with some experience, with some, a lot of tough deployments, a lot of leadership lessons. And we'll get to it, I'm sure. But basically, 2020 happened and I reevaluated my life and I reevaluated my contract with the military, where I wanted to be when things did or don't take a turn for the worse. I reevaluated where I want to be, and there was a lot of mindset shift. There was a lot of work and training and kind of reevaluating things that took place. And that journey that I've been on is about 3 years long now, and it's what I call becoming a dangerous man. So looking forward to getting into that.
I like it. Yeah, becoming a dangerous man. I mean, a lot of us going through the military, we learned how to be dangerous, right? But in a direct action kind of that type of thing. But there's a lot more to it, and I'm sure we're going to get
Yeah.
into all of that in this episode here. But you were talking a little bit about your transitioning out of the military, 20-year career, which is nothing to um, just push aside as, just a guy who did 20 years. It's like, well, that's kind of a big deal.
There's a lot
That's
of guys that
that's
do
a lot.
30. So
I know. Well, there are. Yes. Okay. So
yeah.
I think we're getting out of the way that you're a humble guy and you're not going to, be one to brag about yourself. So we got that out of the way early on here. But tell me about some of the challenges that you had to overcome when you were leaving the military.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I know we're going to get into the mindset, but obviously we're both veterans. We both served. And thank you. Right. I know your story, your book. So that's a hell of a story and sacrifice. So for the veterans on your show, right, the biggest thing that I went through, that a lot of the veterans that I continue to coach and I communicate with guys that are getting out, on top of medical, right? That's a big thing on everybody's mind, is the VA and that whole process. But we're not gonna be able to solve that on your show, Scott. So we'll just forget that. Um, what I will say, man, the common theme, and it kind of leads into Dangerous Man as well as purpose, right? Men need a purpose, right? Whether it's, John Eldridge, I believe, has a book, if you're familiar, and he talks about every man needs a battle to fight, a journey to go on, and a beauty to rescue, right? So men in the military are given their purpose, right? Service above self, mission, sacrifice, deployment, training. A lot of that's given to the man. So, and women, of course, our sisters in service got you, right? But we're talking about men right now with purpose. And so if you don't have something else already built up, and for me in particular, I was very fortunate to have started Dangerous Man, to start podcasting and kind of dabbling in the coaching space. I started with a blog, right? All this was an idea on a blog, and I uploaded a blog to the internet, and that's kind of with the beginning of this. So to answer your question, man, I would say, let's see, I've only been retired about a year, officially a year with some leave on, so a year and a half.
Mhm.
I'm still having a hard time, and I have something. I have business, I have my coaching, I have, some pretty good decisions that my wife and I made with some things that give us some freedom that other people don't have. Um, and I still struggle with a brotherhood, the fraternal, the being a part of something. Now I'm building my own thing, and I've created something here in the Dallas Fort Worth area. I've created a small group with some other veterans, and we're trying to do some things to fulfill that part. But I would say veterans, just getting a job's not enough. Just getting a job is not enough. You really need to find unless that job, maybe a small entrepreneurial venture, a small team venture where you're a part of something. But yeah, man, veterans in general, because women and men, they go from serving with that big higher calling, up to and willing to sacrifice your life. And then you go to Home Depot. That's the joke, right? I'll go drive a forklift to Home Depot. No, man, that ain't enough, right? You
No.
say that because you're scared, you're insecure, and you don't know where you're gonna find it. And again, we're not here to solve all the problems, but that's where guys like me and you, having already experienced this side, let us help you. Reach out, ask for help, right? That kind of
Yeah.
thing. Certainly, don't try to do it on your own.
No, exactly, and I think that's we're gonna get into that, like, kinda building a tribe of people and not doing this thing on your own. I mean, this podcast, I would have quit this years ago if it was just me talking because I hate the sound of my own voice, and I'm sure everybody else out there, would like to have a little variety out there as well,
Yeah,
and quite frankly, I only have so much knowledge in my head. I bring on people like yourself who have experiences and you've gone through certain things. Somebody else has gone through a different set of things, and they can share their experiences. But if it's just the one person talking, and again, if it's just you and you're keeping to yourself, and you don't have that team of people or that tribe, whatever phrase you want to use to
yeah. Community,
describe it,
tribe.
yeah.
Uh,
When things go sideways, will you be prepared? Some people are concerned they might have to go for a long time without electricity or even food. That's why I want to introduce you to 4patriots.com. Get preparedness products you can use now and that could save your life later. My favorite is 4Patriots' new solar generator, the Patriot Power Generator 2000X. It uses the endless free power of the sun to power lights, your TV, medical equipment, even run your fridge. Plus, it's expandable and comes with a free solar panel. Or pick up one of 4Patriots' best-selling survival food kits. Delicious tasting and designed to last for 25 years. They even have kits with real meat, and if the power's out, no worries. Just boil water over a fire, simmer, and serve. You'll enjoy a hot meal and stay safe in a crisis. More smart people than ever are finding 4Patriots. Over 2 million customers trust them, and you might have even seen them on TV. I had the folks at 4Patriots set up a special page for you at 4patriots.com/drive on so that listeners of this podcast can see this week's discounts and deals before they go away. Go to 4patriots.com/drive on, but hurry, these deals won't last long. Save more and get peace of mind now by going to 4patriots.com/drive on.
a lot of people that I work with now use the word community,
Okay.
and I'm trying to interject tribe to build that, right? To
Yeah.
build that mindset because, again, a tribe and very small. Very, you got to start small. You can grow it, but you got to start small.
Yeah. Yeah. Start small. And I think that's pretty good advice with anything, right? I mean, just look at, you know, um, anything that you do, you gotta, you're a
Yeah, the
kid on the
Drive On
playground,
podcast. The Drive On podcast is 340 episodes now. Like
somewhere on there.
you
Yeah.
had to start at day. You had to start with episode one. You know.
Exactly. But, like the example I was gonna give you, a kid on a playground and you got, you're picking teams for, a game. You're starting with that first person and you're picking
Yeah,
and you're
first
picking.
pick.
But you're
Oh,
gonna
you
pick.
just traumatized a bunch of people who got picked last. By the
I
way.
know. Yeah, I know. You're out there, you're crying because you're remembering how being picked last.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
in the picking process, you're picking the best kid for your team, and you're getting that first one in. You wanna have a strong team, so you're taking in,
Yeah.
the best that you can find, and then, yeah, there's gonna be maybe some stragglers at the end who just happen to be there, and you bring them in, but, they might bring some value to the team as well, but, so in the intro, I mentioned that you reevaluated your role as a leader in your family. I know a lot of guys say, actually just society in general. You look at the guy, the father, the husband, whatever in the family as kind of like the head of the household, and maybe that's a old school way of thinking, but it's just the way I think society looks at it. But um, what did you what did you do as you were reevaluating this role? What did
Yeah.
that mean to you, and how did that look?
Yeah. So, for a little backstory, I've been married going on 18 years. We got together when after my first deployment overseas. 21, 22 years old, right? So we've been together a while. Lot of ups and downs.
Sure.
Lot of ups and downs. 3 kids, right? So a little context for your audience. I can speak to marriage and family. So in 2020, I've dropped a lot of my politics, but for your audience, I call it the mostly peaceful summer. Um, and I come from a combat experience background. I come from a martial arts background, a fighting background. So I've always been a fighter. But in 2020, I got sucked into the Fox News wormhole like every other, right-leaning, conservative, terrible person. And the riots, they that was my kind of like, all right, I dropped football when Colin Kaepernick knelt. And again, I'm kind of being really obvious. I'm a very to myself conservative, right? Christian, this
Sure.
terrible man, I know. Um, so 2020 and the idea that somebody could make a wrong turn. I know this sounds crazy to some people, but we were on the East Coast. We weren't by this peaceful summer, but it was close enough. It was within a couple hour drive where some of this crazy things were happening. And I just took offense to it, man. I said, as somebody who's a fighter, as somebody who's prided himself on his physical fitness and his experience, I knew it wouldn't be enough. I knew on my own it wouldn't be enough. And
Mhm.
so I'll try to summarize for the sake of this could be its own topic, but men think providing because they work and then just being there. And that was kind of me. I was present. I wasn't at the bars. I wasn't drinking. I was going to the soccer games. I was going to practice. I was providing financially, but was I really leading? Right. And so that for me would 2020, the thought of making a wrong turn and getting pulled out of my car because I don't align politically with some idiots in the road. And then I got to defend myself. And then I die, let's say. And this is all, I'm a thinker. This is all going through my head. I'm like, man, this is crazy. Like people do that. Like, what about the human factor, the respect factor? Like, how is this happening? Right. Well, we all know how it's happening. It's a giant divide. And whatever side you think you're on your for your audience, just know I'm on the side of protecting myself and my family. And that's the side I want you on. So I don't really care who you vote for anymore. I'm kind of over all that stuff. I've evolved my thinking and my maturity to see they're all part of the same problem, man. And I would just tell your guys and gals, it's up to you and it's up to how you show up. And so in 2020, I decided I would show up. And what it did is I turned off the noise. I turned off the Fox. I turned off the hate and it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't serving me. And I realized I wasn't there fully for my family. And what I mean by that is a leader has to have vision. A leader has to have direction and vision and goals. And a leader has to be able to lead through what's coming because they're not watching what's coming. And so I turned everything off. I looked at me. I looked at some areas, and here's a punchline. I bought my first gun. I never owned a gun because I've always been a hand-to-hand guy. And so that led me to buy my first gun, which led me to the EDC route, the license to carry route. I'm a very big proponent of it now because had I made that wrong turn, right, I would have wanted the ability to defend and
Right.
protect my family. I don't go looking for a fight, but I'll damn well be ready to what I call protect, defend, and destroy the motherfucker that underestimated or didn't see me and didn't read the room right. And
Right.
so that's what I would say. That's a long answer, Scott. I'm guilty of that, man. But it was waking up, right? I woke up to the fact I was being distracted. I was not being the leader. I was being a husband and a father. I wasn't being a leader, right? So I took a lot of deliberate steps into right the protection role, the leadership role of looking down the line.
Right. And I think, especially as a father, like I think you said you have 3 children. I have
Three
three
kids.
three as well. Yeah. Um, I think about them, and I think about like my boys. Like, what kind of men do I want them to be when they grow up? And with anything in life, when you have a newborn child and they're growing, they go to the from the infant to the toddler to the whatever stages they go through, right? They're learning from their environment, what they observe, what they witness. And if they are observing someone who's just kind of passive and letting life happen to them and maybe who doesn't do any of the things to prepare for uh you know difficult situations, let's say, um, that's the kind of person that they're going to be. They're just going to be like, whatever. And they're not going to be that type of person until maybe something bad does happen to them. And like, wow, that's a wake up call. I should have prepared for that a little
A
bit better.
a and
Right.
you just hit exactly what I'm talking about. I was always confident I'd be able to react, but the difference between needing to react and seeing it coming and having a plan to respond, that's a big damn difference, man.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between already knowing where the fire extinguisher is and already having used one. There's a difference in knowing where the AED is versus, I've had an older gentleman in the military in the gym go down
Hmm.
and everybody knew where to go to get the AED. Not, hey, what do we do? Not mass chaos, right? So that's really what we're talking about is what you just said. It's the difference of I was there and I was always ready to show up. I would always react and it might be chaos, but I would do my best. And what I say to men, Scott, is hope is not a strategy, right?
Yeah,
You could argue becoming a dangerous man is me eliminating hope and getting to what I like to say is I'll get to 80% in 60 seconds or less in almost any situation that I'm put in. That's
right.
becoming a dangerous man.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, you're not going out looking for
No,
dangerous situations. You're not going out and
negative.
like, "Hey, there's a riot going on downtown. I'm gonna go and just, kick the hornet's nest and see
Nope.
what kicks out of
I
that."
I am against all anti-march, anti-protest, I would have never been at January 6th. I would have never
Mhm.
I'm not countering anybody's stupidity, hate, evil, whatever manipulation they're playing into. I'm
Sure,
at my house. I'm fortified. I'm good. We have our few places we gotta go. And if I could share a story, I'll give you a perfect example, man.
sure.
My family was at the Texas State Fair. If you're familiar in Dallas,
Mhm.
there was a shooting incident. It wasn't an active shooter, right? It was a guy who shot another guy and hit 2 other people because he's a terrible shot in a food court. We didn't know that. We didn't know that, and we were there. We were there in the food court when everybody started running and screaming, and we're getting nachos, and we're like, "What the fuck is going on right now?" Well, here's a moral of the story, Scott. I had a gun because in Texas, I have my license to carry,
Mhm.
which I chose to get, and if you read the Texas State Fair website, which I did, it has a no weapons policy unless you have a license to carry. So, in the Texas State Fair, the night of the shooting, which we didn't know what it was, I had a gun. I put my family off to the side while everybody else was fucking stampeding. I put my family off to the side. A bunch of other families stayed with us because they had little kids. They didn't want to run in the damn stampede. I
Yeah,
had a firearm on me. I have it on me right now. I had a firearm on me and I was in a position in front of them. Had that guy come out of that food court where the shooting happened, I would have, if I needed to, and I would have been there before the cops got there.
yeah.
But that is an element of being dangerous. I didn't, but here's the thing. Here's the mindset. I was really proud of myself. This just happened a couple of months. What was it? A month or two ago. I didn't go to the sound of gunfire. That's the difference, okay? I'm not asking you to be a sheepdog. Sheepdogs get paid. Sheepdogs have qualified
That's right.
immunity. You want a YouTube short? Here's one for you. Sheepdogs have qualified immunity. If I were to have gone forward, one, law enforcement doesn't know me from them. Two, had I engaged, why did I engage? I would have had to answer all those damn questions.
Yeah,
I call it being a lion, right? I say, let the sheepdog, the law enforcement, the military, the security, paid personnel who have qualified immunity, let them herd the sheep. I roll with lions. That's the difference, right? I'm not asking you to go be the hero.
yeah.
I stayed with my family. I put myself in a advantageous position should I needed to engage whoever the hell was causing that ruckus. That's being dangerous.
Because I think just to kinda clarify that, just a little bit, you did a good job there, but just for the listeners, your objective of getting your license to carry, getting the firearm, getting maybe if you took additional training, I don't know,
Uh,
all the
I
rules and
I
everything like
teach,
that.
yeah, firearms, yes.
Okay,
I love training. Love
so
training.
you do all the training, you go to the range, you practice, you shoot, all that kinda stuff. Again, you're not doing that because you wanna go out and kill people. You're
No,
doing that
hell no.
because you wanna protect yourself and those around you
Around me in my
who you
immediate
love, you
vicinity.
know?
Yep.
And some of those people were complete strangers. They just happened to be with you, and you would have been protecting them had that threat come towards you, right?
I
Um
made a post that said they didn't care who I voted for.
Right.
'Cause
Right,
think about
exactly.
that. In that moment, those women that had small children, they don't care that I'm a toxic masculinity, Trump supporting whatever, and I don't really, I'm exaggerating the stupidity of all this
Yeah.
identity stuff. They didn't care in that moment.
Not
They
in that
knew
moment,
somebody
no.
was shooting people and I had a gun and I put myself in between them and whoever was shooting.
Yep.
That's all they cared about in that moment, and they thanked me after.
And so that to me that's why you do this, because
Yes.
you want to be able to protect those people, because going out and getting, the gun and the license and the training and all this other stuff after the fact, after somebody has shot somebody who
It's
you
too late.
love or care about, it's too late. Those people aren't coming back, or if they survive the gunshot, they're now they're dealing with post traumatic stress, and they're dealing with you know physical wounds that need to heal, and maybe debilitating stuff that goes along with that. So it's too late at that point. So
Yeah,
I
let me
think the
let me
whole mindset that you're trying to talk about is just being prepared, so that
yeah.
way that bad stuff doesn't happen. And I love that message.
And let's put a nail in this too, and just for your audience who think the gun rights people are looking to go be heroes and kill people.
Mhm.
You and I have been there. You and I know what the human body looks like when it's, we know what happens to the body. I don't wish that on my children. I don't wish that on my wife. I gave a piece of my soul so they would never have to, right? So
Sure.
veterans who know, people who know, de-escalation, distance, create distance from chaos, get the hell out of there. People who know how to fight choose not to fight.
Yeah.
People who know what a gun does to a human body would never wish that on their children or their family, and that's where training and that's where competence, and not just any idiot with a gun, right? But let's make sure we differentiate between somebody that just buys a gun and somebody that knows how to use a gun. Somebody
That's
that
right.
knows how to use a gun, who has their family, will do everything in their power to create distance from any potential harm to fall on them. The gun is an absolute last fucking resort.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. That's it's not something that you want anyone to. We were just talking. I just mentioned post traumatic stress. I mean, seeing
Yeah.
that
For my
uh,
kids, well, I don't want them to see
you don't
that.
want that.
I'm gonna
No.
No, never in a million years would I wish that on them.
Exactly. Um, so how is this shift in this kind of dynamics in your relationship in your family? Um, how did that impact your family? Did that kind of change some of the dynamics in the family, like the role that your wife played, or anything like that? How did that
I don't
mix
wanna
things
say
up?
change, I think clarify, because
Okay.
I think good men, without the language that I use, I think good men, well-intentioned, they do most of the stuff I do. I just put clarity around it. I just explained why I do what I do. I took a teacher's mindset. I started to remind myself, "Hey, I have a 16-year-old son. In 2 years, he's gonna be on his own. He's gonna start going on dates. He's gonna be at the Raising Cane's down the street after a soccer game. I'm not gonna be there. It's
Right.
not enough for me to know this stuff. It's like here's the thing, in the older generation, dads took their kids out because they weren't on their phones, and they taught them how to change a tire. They taught them how to change oil. They taught them how to mend a fence or, repair. They taught this stuff. Now parents are competing with this. They're competing with this. So it's one thing. I always led by example, but now I've taken I would say, to your question, the shift, it added clarity for my family. Now my son understands why he takes point. The women are in the middle, right? The women are in
Mhm.
the middle because my daughter and my wife are in the middle, and I'm in the rear, and that's how we walk. And then we walk in reverse. And I started to explain these things to them. So when they're in a different situation, they can look for that. And if the person doesn't inadvertently do it, now maybe they take a charge role because they've been trained, they've been explained, they've been taught by me, how to, with little kids, you could say, hey, let's find how many exit signs we could find.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to bombard your kid with most probable, most likely, most deadly course of action. Oh, you're going to die if you don't do this. No, you just play a game. Hey, how many exit signs can you guys find? And now you train your kids to look up because an exit sign has to be visible,
Right.
right? And now in an emergency, you could tell your wife to grab your kids and everybody head for an exit. And guess what your kid's going to do? From 5 years old, you've been telling them to look up to find the exit. They're going to look up. They're not going to wonder where to go. So it's little things like that that I started to become very intentional with my language and
Sure.
explaining why my back's to the door, primary and alternate exits, routes, explaining myself.
Yep. Yeah, and just another benefit of that is places that you go often, whether it's you go to the same grocery store, or whatever, things like that. If you're there with your kids, you do that game with them and tell them, how many exit signs can you find? Well, eventually they start to remember where they are. And so in a situation where maybe they need to get out an emergency exit, and for the audience, we're not necessarily talking about everything is being a mass shooting kind of
No,
situation. It could be a fire, or it could
fire,
be
power outage, car crashes into the damn
yep,
Or, I mean,
Right through
I
the
read an
front
article.
entrance. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
I read an article that said one of the worst killings was a club in like 2000 something where they used pepper spray to break up a fight, and it caused everybody to stampede out of the club, and they killed 15 people trying to
Uh-huh.
get out of one exit. It was like a
Yeah,
2004 club incident in Florida just from pepper spray. So you never know, and I'm glad you brought that up because I have to be careful of that because my mind, I was a, I did some war gaming. So I go to most deadly sometimes too often out loud,
right.
but certainly most likely down power. Power goes out for 3 days, right? A small fire turns into a big fire, a grease fire versus a paper fire or electrical fire. Like you're absolutely right. You, as a parent, you don't got to go far extreme. You can go with the basics. Hey, you ran out of gas. Hey, do you know what to do in a small kitchen fire?
Mhm.
Do you know the difference if grease fire? Do you know what to do if I have a heart attack and I kill
Right.
over? Do you know what neighbor is most likely home if you can't find my phone? Like these are all scenarios that you can build age appropriately with your family. Absolutely.
I mean, even just a simple step like we in our house, we have a list of phone numbers of people that, our kids can call, like, if something
Yep.
happens to my wife or me or something like that. Um, there's a list of, neighbors, their grandparents, is all these phone numbers are listed on the fridge, and it's real easy. And
Yep.
we even put, our home address on there, like, our kids know our home address, but in
Yeah.
a stressful situation, you start forgetting things. That
That's
happens
a
all the
great
time.
point.
So you just
Great
put
point.
that on the list. They have to call 911 and give an address. Okay, well, it's written there, just read it.
Uh,
It makes it so much easier,
yeah, that's great too with teaching intersections, teaching your kid how you're at the intersection of this and this,
Yeah,
main and fifth, you know?
it
Yeah.
it's interesting because, I'm originally from the East Coast, moved out to Arizona here, where I am, and all the streets, most of the main streets here, if you were looking at like a bird's eye view overhead, it's a grid. It's a 1 mile by 1 mile square everything. And everybody refers to things like, what are your cross streets? It's this street and that street. That's the way things are just referred to around here, and
Yeah.
it was bizarre because the streets back east where I'm from, there were these twisty, windy,
Yeah.
old
I was gonna say
school.
you're the beginning of the country, so
Yeah,
you just kinda there wasn't no city developers and city planners building out
no.
Arizona and
It wa
different parts of new
it wa
cities that get built now.
it was just a street going around a farm, like,
Yeah.
so that you can get the horses
Until
without
eminent domain
trampling.
took the farmer and
Yeah,
then made
right.
the road straight.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the handful of straight roads, there's not many from where I'm
Yeah.
from. Um, so we talked about these changes, and they're not, again, you use the word that you just reinforced, things that people are already doing. Um,
Yep.
and so it's not like a huge shift, but it's a mindset shift, I think, is more what we're talking about
Well,
here,
let's
right?
talk about where the shift needs to happen though, right? So
Okay.
I call dangerous man. I used the word and early on I was, "Oh, dangerous." I said, "Look, guys, it's an intentional act to take ownership of your family away from the government and putting it on yourself." So that's where the shift happens. With
Yeah.
my family, yes, it was softer. It was soft using soft skills and I'm not like hammering. I'm not running. I was a boot camp instructor. I'm not running a boot camp here. It's soft in my family, it's very soft skills that I just became more intentional with and making it fun, making it gamey, age appropriate, right? With men that I coach, with men that I lead, with your audience, I would say, now hold on now. The intentional part is when you say, can I feed my family for 3 weeks if Kroger and HEB can't restock?
Yeah.
Again, a freeze, a natural disaster, a supply chain issue. It doesn't have to be us versus them or some crazy crap going on. It could be a Texas freeze that lasts for 4 days, right? I'll give you an example. I'm from Houston. My mom and her husband are still down there. I think it was Harvey happened. I think I was still in the military when Harvey happened, or I may have just been getting out. He said, this is my stepdad's quote, had it gone for one more day, I think we would have had people looting the neighborhood
Well,
because people are so used to Uber Eats, delivery,
yeah.
drive through, and grocery store that God forbid the roads actually shut down for 3, 4, 5 days. Again, this doesn't have to be tinfoil hat shit. This can be an actual freeze, an actual fire. I was in California for the Paradise Falls fires and the goddamn mudslides that shut down the 101. Okay. Natural things happen too.
Yeah.
On top of man made and all the other crap, we have all I'm asking you is to take the intention to say, if you can't Uber Eats, if your power goes out, how is your family? Because if you're the leader of your family, you are responsible for that act of feeding your family.
Hmm.
So that's the intentional mindset shift that people need to get on is you own the responsibility. Own it. Are you owning it, or are you just along for the ride, just like you are going to practice, homework, kids,
Yeah.
dinner, bed? Are you also like that with, oh, the government will be there, HEB will be there, Kroger will be there, or pick your grocery store will be there. I can Uber Eats, I can hit a drive-through. That's that passivity shit. Dangerous is about intentionality, being intentional.
Yeah. And all that stuff you can until you can't. And then what?
Yeah.
And just another example that I think pretty much everyone in the audience will be able to relate to is when the start of the pandemic took place, you couldn't find a roll of toilet paper on
No, the
the grocery
toilet
store
paper
shelves.
crisis of 2020, right?
You know, and and that's, I mean, we can laugh about it now because it's not like a super huge deal. But what
It's
if
an
it was
example though, to your point that you could
yeah,
relate. What if it was meat or milk or
right.
eggs,
Or all of it at once,
or
like
all the above?
because
Exactly.
everybody just went out and hoarded all this stuff, and now what? The shelves are empty. The the farms can only produce so much. It's not like they got to raise the cows to get the meat, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, we
Well,
can slaughter a little bit earlier, but
yeah,
eventually
but
they're running
people
out.
aren't thinking macro. They're not thinking supply chain causes an oil issue, causes a gas issue.
Hmm.
Trucks need diesel to move. So it ain't even like the store doesn't want the stuff to get here. If
Yeah,
there ever becomes a fuel shortage, a fuel crisis, and they have to consolidate fuel, guess what's not? Nope, the grocery store's not getting restocked.
right,
It's going to take a hit. The gas station's going to take a hit. That means you're not mobile. You're no longer mobile. You just lost your ability to move if you don't have a full tank of gas. So
right.
again, you got to think it one hit to a big part of the system. There are a lot of second, third order effects.
Yeah, a lot of things, and it's just being prepared. Things like simple things like you said, learning how to change a tire. You go out and drive a car without knowing how to change a tire. That, to me, that's just
You're a
irresponsible.
liability. You're a
It is,
liability.
yeah, because now you're on the side of the road with a busted tire because you drove over a nail or glass or whatever, caused that to happen. Um, of no fault of your own. It's not like you're going to see the nail on the street and purposely try to drive over it.
Yeah.
But these things happen. They fall off the back of a truck, or something like that happens, or you're driving through a construction zone and stuff's just
Yep.
laying around. Um, that type of thing can happen, and if you don't know how to change a tire, now you have a car that's on the side of the road. You're on the side of the road trying to call for
You're
help or
vulnerable.
whatever. You're
You're
vulnerable,
vulnerable to the elements. You're vulnerable to people up to no good. You're vulnerable to a crime of opportunity. Um,
distracted drivers, you
yep.
name it. There's
Distracted driver, drunk driver. Yeah, all kinds of things.
any type of thing like that. Now you're opening yourself up to this potential harm to you, just because you didn't learn how to change a tire, which is super simple to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's certainly some baseline things you should hit. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, exactly. And so
car
in that,
101. Where does the oil go? Where's the antifreeze? Change a tire.
right, right,
Jump start a car. The
just
basics.
basic stuff, and when obviously, like you were saying, age appropriate type things. You're not going to be
Yeah.
teaching a toddler how to change a tire, right?
Yeah.
But
But you could teach a toddler the importance of staying in the goddamn car when I tell you, don't get out of your car seat because
that's right.
mom's pulled over on the side of the road waiting for the cop to get here.
That's
And your
right.
dumb butt wants to jump out into the,
And
freeway. Mom, what are you doing? Because you didn't listen, right?
yep, yep. So that's all that stuff is super important, I think. Um, so we're talking a little bit. This might be going down a rabbit hole. We'll see. We'll see where this takes us.
I'll
But
be careful. I'll be
that's
careful.
okay. That's okay. You know what? If it goes down a rabbit hole, that's fine. We'll deal with that. Um, there's that saying, "Hard times create strong men."
Oh,
There's a
I love
whole
it. I
cyclical
love that.
thing. What
Yep.
what do you think? Are we on the verge of that hard times needing to create
No,
strong men, or
no, not at
are we
all. Think
past that
about it.
stage?
No,
Where
think
are we?
about it, man. We are in good times. We are in good times. I've deployed all over the world, and people who know this, people who've traveled. Here's the nice thing about the military: when we deploy, we're going to places that people don't pay for 5-star resorts. A
Yeah,
lot of these people, a lot of my friends, and some of these people that I've met in Dallas that are pretty well for themselves. Oh, I've been there. Oh, I've been there. Nah, you've been to a tourist resort where you had the fucking red carpet rolled out for you.
Yeah.
I was doing things with these guys in the shit, right? Where
Right.
the basics weren't even there. So stop it. You have not seen these other countries the way you think you've seen these other countries. So
Yeah.
I will tell you, having that experience as my contacts and having been around the world, no, these are good times, man. The fact that you can wait in line at your fucking Starbucks, the fact that you can Uber Eats, the fact that you can have everything delivered, the fact that your lights turn on, right? There's places who can't even turn a light switch on consistently.
Yeah.
There's places that shit in the hole in the ground. Okay, the fact that we have everything we have, the fact that our problems, I like to call them first world problems. Our first world problems are when the Wi-Fi goes out, when the cell service sucks, when I can't watch my YouTube video without an ad, or it slowly uploads. If that's what you're fucking complaining about, no, man, we are in good times, make weak men. We have not even fully appreciated the level of second and third order effect of the weak men that are running our country, running our companies, running our business, running our politics. We have not suffered the consequences of that yet.
So I think it's important for the leaders in families, and I'm talking families now because
Yes.
there's only so many people that you can reach out and affect. Focus on home first, and then you can expand out to your
Well,
neighbors or friends and things, right?
let's clarify. Focus on the man in the mirror, focus on the woman in the mirror,
Sure.
because only there do you have control.
Okay.
Everyone else is influence. Everyone else you can influence. Even
Yeah.
teenagers. How many parents listen to you that can you control your kid? Good luck. Let
Yeah,
me know
right.
how that works for you. Outside of, I mean, it got to a point where ass whoopings don't work anymore. I mean, most parents will tell you like they spank for a little bit and then they realize, well, they're starting to bring me the belt and ask me if they, okay, well, here's the belt. And then is it effective anymore? No. Like, good luck controlling your kids. And damn sure, I've been together 18 years. There is zero control I have over my wife. There is zero control she has over me. We influence the actions that we want to see from our partner.
Right, right.
So I like to clarify with words, control the person, the thoughts, the ideas, the beliefs, the person. And that's why everything with Dangerous Man starts with the man.
Mhm.
And I would challenge the woman is no different. Look in the mirror. That's the only person you can guarantee results on effort.
Right, right. So you have you have this person, you're looking in the mirror, that's who you're trying to that you need to control, right?
Yep.
Um,
I can control those Fox News inputs, those, oh, what's the new current event I should be mad about? I can control that. I can
yeah,
absolutely put up a wall to say, not my, I mean, it sounds real callous when it's like, is any of my fear, scare, worry, outrage, is any of that going to impact? No, it's not. It
no,
likely already happened.
yeah.
So you're not going to impact anything. All you're going to do is jump on the bandwagon of outrage on either side. Uh,
That's
and,
true
and,
because a
and you're
lot of
going to
times
distract from where you can actually make a difference.
a lot of times the stuff that happens in the news, they're historians. They're talking about stuff that has already
After the
happened
fact.
after the fact.
Exactly.
It's over. The dust is settled and the camera crews are going in. And yeah, of course there's live events. There's, the
It's a
reporters are on the
massive
ground.
distraction,
But
massive
but
distraction
those
campaign.
things are not always in your backyard, right? So that's not the stuff that you're worried about, but the stuff that we need to do because good times create the weak men in that
Yep.
that cycle that we're talking about, right? We don't wanna get to that next stage where the weak men create the hard times.
Well,
Um,
I'd
right?
argue that's more where we are. The weak men, we're not in the hard times yet.
No.
We are seeing the result of weak men, weak leadership. We're seeing the result of toxic leadership, if you want to call it that. There's not a
Yep.
toxic masculinity. There's toxic people, and
Yeah.
there's results of toxic people being in charge of things. Certainly, we haven't fully vested it though, because like I told you, I can still Uber Eats right now. And
Yep.
I mean, at one point, my wife ordered pool. I couldn't believe this. I said, "Where the fuck these chairs come from?" We were going to some pool. She ordered pool chairs from Big Lots, and they were delivered within the hour before we had to leave to go. I was like, "Where am I? Like, what is this? Like, this is crazy." I lived on a mountain at one point with people that would drive down to the village to get rice once a
Yeah.
week, and now
Right.
my wife's fucking ordering pool chairs from Big Lots for like
It's
10
a
bucks.
it's this
I'm just
on
like,
demand
these are not hard
society.
times, guys. These are
No.
not hard times.
No. Definitely not
Yeah.
hard. When you put it that way, it's not hard.
No. These are
When
not
someone
hard
gets
times,
your
folks.
Starbucks order wrong, that's not hard times. That's
Yeah, that's
you know,
first world problems.
exactly. Um, so what advice do you have for folks who are looking to redefine their role as family leaders in whether it's in challenging times, we're in, like you said, we're in good times
Yeah,
now.
let's get into that. So, first and foremost, right, let's cast a little let me debunk, right, Social Security, right? Let me kinda paint this is how I look at family. This will kinda answer some of it, and we'll kinda go into it.
Sure.
Social Security, among all the other government problems that destroyed family, Social Security, get rid of it. In my mind, I don't have a Social Security. I'm not relying on Social Security. I don't believe I don't even have a 401k. I cashed out and I said, I'm gonna do mine because in 21 years, I don't trust this shit's gonna be here. Right. So I kind of upset a lot of people who want to rely on other people. They want to rely on outside of their control to take care of them. Right.
Mhm.
You know what I'm doing? I'm investing in my children. My Social Security are my three kids and their success, our love for each other. I'm not hurting them. I'm not traumatizing them because I want them to put a roof over my head when I'm 70 years old and potentially I need help, right?
Yeah.
So that's how I look at family. So maybe that'll paint the picture for some of your guys. I'm not looking to kick them out at 18. I'm not looking to get rid of them at 18 and say, oh, now I can live my life. No, we're living life together. We have a whole wall of photos because they've been around the world with us. Like we've done that together, right? We're living our life with our kids, not in spite of or waiting for them to leave so we can go have a good time. We are a family. We are a unit. We are together. So that kind of, with that end state in mind, where do you have to start? As a man or woman, you got to start with yourself and you got to say, what am I really good at? Am I capitalizing on what I'm really good at? Where do I have some areas I need to improve? For me in 2020, I needed to buy a gun. I needed to buy a gun and I needed to learn. Now, I'd been trained how to shoot guns at, you know, let's get something clear. EDC is a lot different. Everyday carry is a lot different. A gunfight with me is going to be within 5 feet. I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to blow your chest full of holes, and then I'm going to put it away and hope I don't get shot by some fucking security guard who thinks I'm the problem.
Right.
Right. So I'm not kicking indoors. I'm not putting on cool guy gear. I'm not putting on nods and, I'm not putting flak on to go clear a building. Okay. So I would say for me, it was defense, right? That was a big thing for me. I was already kind of doing the dad thing pretty well. I was pretty involved homework and sports, and I did some coaching and volunteering at the school. So I'd already kind of had the dad thing. But for your audience, right? What could you do better to, right? What are we going for? What's the end state, right? Simon Sinek says start with why. I want a roof over my head when I'm 80, should the government not be able to provide Social Security. I want to take care of my kids, invest in them, build for their success, and make sure they love me in the process, maintain that relationship in the process. So, with that end state in mind, have your audience ask, what am I doing well? If that's the end state, right? Let's not rely on Social Security. Let's not rely on a 401k. If the end state is my kids grow up to be successful humans in society, am I doing the best to build that relationship and support them in what they need?
I think that's a great place to start, and a good overall advice too, because you're looking at the end state, and there's probably in some cases there's multiple steps that you need to focus on and improve um and just work on in general, right? And
And
uh,
here's the thing, if I'm wrong, did I lose anything? Let's say my 401k is there, and let's say Social Security is there. Did I lose anything by investing in my family with this mindset to drop the selfish, drop the man child, drop the me, drop the bullshit going on right now where, oh, I can do it on my own or I don't need to have kids. Good luck.
yeah,
Good luck if I'm right. If I'm right, good luck for those solo climbing the corporate ladder and doing it on their own, or maybe they forego having kids. Good luck if I'm right and the government is not what they promised and the government is not there to deliver. Good luck to all you corporate ladder climbers who did it on your own and you chose other means to take care of your desires and good luck.
yeah, yeah. Uh, it to me, it's like if um your preparation is all for nothing. Like if you look at it at the end of the day and you've gone throughout your whole life and you never needed to change a tire on the side of the road, or you never needed to use
Hey, that's
your
great.
firearm in defense. Great.
That's
But
great.
it's not like you wasted your life
A
in
warrior in a garden is
preparing.
better. A warrior in a garden is better than a gardener going to war.
That's right. That's right. That's I do like that that saying. Because should something have happened, you'd look back and you'd be like, "Why didn't I just take a little bit of time and prepare myself for whatever?" Like you're saying, using a fire extinguisher. I mean, such a
Yeah, who the
simple
hell wants
thing.
their house to burn down if it doesn't have to?
I was at, this is years ago, but I was at a just a barbecue cookout, type thing, and there was a fire, in the grill, and it was like one of those billowing flames, like the grease just got out of control, I guess, or whatever the case may be. Everyone started panicking. Someone threw water on it, and I was
Oh,
like,
terrible
why?
idea. Yeah.
I knew where the fire extinguisher
You
was.
might as well throw a frozen turkey in the pot while you're at it.
Right. I
Jesus.
I knew where the fire extinguisher was. I walked in, I got the fire extinguisher, I came back out, put out the fire, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, you were so calm
Yeah,
doing it." It's like, well, it's just a thing you need to do. It's like putting gas in your car. You just do it. I
yeah.
don't know. Like,
Close the lid.
yeah,
Yep.
exactly. Smother the flames, and
Yeah,
take out what you can, and it was fine. Like
yeah.
everything was good, and I mean the food was ruined, but like,
And let's play on that example because whenever I'm on other shows or people always ask me, "Okay, well, you have combat experience. You've done the training. You've done this. How do you coach somebody that's done none of that?" I start with the fire extinguisher
yeah,
because that is something that everybody should be able to relate to. It's a nice to have. You hope you never need it, but God, if you do, a small fire, God forbid you put the grease fire in the sink and you turn water on and then you just lit your kitchen on fire.
yep,
And now you just burn, memories, things you'll never get back, invaluable things passed down through because you didn't have a fire extinguisher. And it's no different than my gun, but I start with fire extinguisher for people who maybe aren't gun related. It's no different than CPR and Heimlich.
yeah,
Why wouldn't you want your kid to learn the Heimlich? God forbid there's not a teacher. God forbid they're at the restaurant and nobody knows the Heimlich. And now somebody's kid dies from choking on a fucking chicken wing because nobody taught their teenage son the Heimlich maneuver. My son's going to learn the Heimlich. My son does, CPR. These are things that very basic. It doesn't have to be all, scary gun and you know. And here's the other thing: get politics out of your mind. If you're going to learn anything from me, you got to get politics out of your mind because I got politics out of my mind, and it opened up a massive ability to take in knowledge and wisdom and experience from people who have value to add without worrying about who the fuck they voted for.
yeah,
Okay.
right. And I think, looking at this, you got to ask yourself, what's the cost of not being prepared
Oh,
for
somebody
something,
dies.
right?
Somebody dies.
And are you okay with that cost? If you're okay with whatever that cost happens to be, think about any of these scenarios that we just mentioned. If you're okay with your house burning down, you're okay with someone choking or, dying of a heart attack because you didn't know CPR or whatever.
You won't be, but you think it'll never happen.
Right, exactly. Because there are things that have happened to me in my life that I never thought would happen, to my family and things like that. I just
Yeah,
never thought it would happen, but
but
it
it did.
did. And then once when it did, it was like, holy shit, that's something that just happens to other people. It doesn't happen to me, but it did. And now I have to figure out how to deal with it. All sorts of
Yeah,
things that have happened.
it's
Yeah.
not the nicest analogy, but I always say nobody does a fundraiser for cancer until their kid gets diagnosed with cancer.
Unfortunately, that's probably more true than not, or they know somebody close to them
Well,
anyway. It's like,
a family
yeah,
member, somebody close to
exactly.
them,
Yeah.
like aunts, uncles, everybody's impacted, right? And we can all relate to kids. Like bad things shouldn't happen to kids, bad things should happen to bad people. But when something happens to a kid, that inner circle of family, now all of a sudden they're fundraising, they're
Yep.
helping, they're putting colored ribbons on their car, they're all support. But prior to that happening, they didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
I mean that respectfully because I've dealt with certain things that I may support for the same damn reason. It's a human nature. It's a human factor.
Yeah. It's not, knocking them or saying that they're bad
No,
people.
not at all.
Because
It's very
guess what?
natural.
I'm the same way. I
Yeah.
it's human nature.
Yep.
I've done that very same type of thing, and I look back on it and it's like, okay, well, maybe if I did more beforehand, maybe it wouldn't have even been an
My
issue that I had to worry about. But
Mike
here we are.
Tyson's quote is a great one, right? Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. I say, or we would just add to that, don't wait to get punched. All we're asking you when you say you want to become a dangerous man or, even veterans reaching out for help or support,
Yeah.
don't wait to be rock bottom. Don't wait to get punched in the mouth to know how to take a punch or to know if
Right.
you can take a punch or learn how to maybe dodge, duck, dive, dodge, whatever that dodgeball, avoid the punch.
That's right.
See the threat coming and add distance away from the guy who may punch you, right? That's all we're saying. Don't wait to get punched in the freaking mouth before
Yep.
you realize, like, oh, that might have been a good idea to listen to that crazy guy on this Scott's podcast that was like, hey, you need to become dangerous, right?
Right.
You're gonna wait till you get punched in the mouth. You're gonna wait till your car breaks down, you don't know what to do, and there's no tow truck service for 2 hours, right? You're gonna wait
Right.
till you run out of gas. You're gonna wait till you get a flat tire in a shitty part of town. You're gonna wait till somebody comes to kick your fucking door in to realize your bullshit deadbolt ain't gonna be enough to stop them. You should have had a gut. You're gonna wait, and then all of a sudden, you're gonna look at legislation, and you're gonna wanna pass a bill to prevent whatever evil happened to you, and you're gonna wanna fundraise and support for somebody. Come on. All we're saying is don't wait to get punched in the fucking mouth.
There it is. So tell us about the training that you offer for folks who might be interested
Yeah, so
in
I
becoming a little
appreciate
more
that, man.
dangerous.
Yeah, so they for the DIY crowd, right? My LinkedIn is where I'm most active. I post a lot on LinkedIn. I post a lot of content, video. A lot of what I do is physical, so a lot of the workouts, things like that. So LinkedIn, if you got it. I just started a YouTube channel for the podcast, and then I have, I don't know, I think I told you I have 84 episodes. They're all solo. I haven't done interviews yet. I'm looking to get into interviews, but I have 84. It's just me ripping into a mic on my philosophy, different ideas.
Hmm.
And then I have a website, philanderton.com. That's where you can kind of sign up for the newsletter, see a little of philosophy. And then, yeah, the high ticket, right? Is one-on-one time with me. I do 10-week coaching program. I've done some group facilitation with a men's group that I did for a little bit. And between that and coaching, I really found men lack in 3 areas when they end up needing help. They're lacking confidence, right? So whether it's they're buying into the Andrew Tate masculinity, toxic bullshit. So they know they're a man, but they're kind of like, God, depending on the environment they're in, maybe they're in a more liberal or more kind of area where it's like they want you to tone down the flannel and beard, right? They want you to kind of pump the brakes on being a man's man, right? So they're lacking confidence in an area. Maybe they have the confidence, but they're lacking clarity, what I call clarity, vision, mission. So there's a lot of coaching that goes into the confidence piece, building their confidence,
Hmm.
whether it's with biblical masculinity or just, hey, here's 10,000 years of history. This is how men are. These are the positive traits to being this way. So kind of building up their confidence, finding that clarity, right? That mission for them. What is it that they want? Is it most of the men that come to me have kids, have families. They had some kind of come to Jesus moment like I did in 2020 when I realized my bare hands aren't going to be enough against a mob. I need a gun. Now I carry a gun everywhere I go. I feel much safer, i.e., the Texas State Fair, I had a gun when somebody else had a gun.
Yep.
And then courage is really combining those two and helping the men. I've helped a man start. I've helped one of my clients start a business. Right, that was his dangerous man. So if anybody in the audience is interested in kind of doing it themselves and more of my philosophy, I have the podcast and certainly the newsletter. And then if you're interested in working with me, yeah, I'd love to help you get on the path to becoming dangerous.
Excellent. And I'll have links to all of that in the show notes for the listeners who are interested in learning more about what you do, following along, and maybe getting some one-on-one type training. When things go sideways, will you be prepared? Some people are concerned they might have to go for a long time without electricity or even food. That's why I want to introduce you to 4patriots.com. Get preparedness products you can use now, and that could save your life later. My favorite is 4Patriots' new solar generator, the Patriot Power Generator 2000X. It uses the endless free power of the sun to power lights, your TV, medical equipment, even run your fridge. Plus, it's expandable and comes with a free solar panel. Or pick up one of 4Patriots' best-selling survival food kits. Delicious tasting and designed to last for 25 years. They even have kits with real meat, and if the power's out, no worries. Just boil water over a fire, simmer, and serve. You'll enjoy a hot meal and stay safe in a crisis. More smart people than ever are finding 4Patriots. Over 2 million customers trust them, and you might have even seen them on TV. I had the folks at 4Patriots set up a special page for you at 4patriots.com/drive-on so that listeners of this podcast can see this week's discounts and deals before they go away. Go to 4patriots.com/drive-on, but hurry, these deals won't last long. Save more and get peace of mind now by going to 4patriots.com/drive-on. Drive On. Before we wrap this episode up, though, I want to do a segment I like to call it "Is It Service Connected?" It's kind of a way to add a little humor to the end of the episodes here. Some of the episodes we have are
Yeah, a little serious, huh?
little heavy, little
Don't wait
serious.
to get punched in the mouth.
Don't Yeah, right, and any of that kind of stuff could be a little heavy for some people. So I like to
Yeah.
have a little dessert at the end of the episode and end it on a
Okay.
light note. For the viewers aren't familiar, it's Is It Service Connected, sort of like America's Funniest Home Videos, military edition. We try to take a look at a video of service members doing something stupid, and we try to predict whether or not whatever happened in the video would qualify for some sort of service connected disability down the line. So for the audio listeners of the podcast, um, who can't see this, obviously, I'll try to do my best to describe what we're about to watch. And then you can always check out the video on YouTube and Twitter and anywhere else that we post this stuff. So I got the video up here. So
Oh
Phil, you
god.
can see it as well.
Gotta be Army. Gotta
Yeah,
be
it's
Army.
looking like Army. One thing I gotta say, I'm looking at this screen, just the still of this video before I hit play,
This looks
and
bad already.
my God, first off, guys, get a fucking phone or something that records so I can actually see what the hell's going on. This
Yeah, it's
quality
pretty
is
yeah,
shit.
it's pretty what is this?
It,
Pre
it,
720, 1080p.
this is like you're on your dad's flip phone from like
Yeah.
1998 or something. Um, First off, that's terrible. So, come on, I need some content here for this thing. I need some good stuff. So record it, and
Yeah.
if you're gonna do something stupid, get a actually decent camera to use for
Yeah,
recording it.
seriously.
Um, all right, so I'm gonna start it off here. We got it looks like they're in the barracks. Looks Army dressed in their PTs. One guy sitting on the floor with his legs spread open, and there's
Something's about to get thrown at him, it looks like.
nothing's good for any future kids that he's about to have. I'm gonna
No.
just predict here, but we'll see what's going on here. Here we go. Okay, it looks like they're throwing a water bottle or something at his crotch. This other guy here.
Is it?
Yep. Oh, it's a
Oh.
shoe or something.
Oh, dress
Oh,
shoe.
yep, and he just got nailed in the nuts. And
I'm guessing it was some stupid game of, like, who chickens out, who closes their legs first or something.
yeah, and they probably got to like move closer. They probably started at opposite ends, and they're
Jesus
moving
Christ.
closer or something along those lines.
I will not
Um,
confirm or deny of ever participating in shenanigans in barracks.
Yeah, there's no barrack shenanigans ever happened. That was just a
No.
one-off occasion, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Awful. That looked painful.
So let me think. So VA, I know ED is a big thing that they like to claim now. So I'm
Is that
sure,
right?
I'm sure. Oh yeah, it's one of those like, how do you prove it? How do you disprove it? So they and I don't mean to go down that rabbit hole, but
Yeah. You know
tinnitus,
Yeah,
ED, certain things that how do they tell you don't have it?
right.
Were definitely some things thrown around. I didn't like any of that, but I don't want to get into that.
No, yeah, we won't go down that rabbit hole, but,
Yeah,
um,
that's a monster in itself.
I'm looking at that video, and I'm saying to myself, just like I do with all the other ones, is if there is any sort of disability that could be related to this incident, at least I got it on video, and,
Yeah.
I was in the
I don't
barracks,
know.
here it is,
I don't know if that helps you, but yeah.
Yeah, in this case, it probably doesn't help you because this was
Yeah.
just pure stupidity, and,
Right on.
it's like, man, that was your own dumbass fault. Why the no, we're not gonna pay you for that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll have people out there just shooting with no ear pro on and, g
Oh yeah, the
no
3M
iPro.
lawsuit from
Oh,
the
yeah, all
from the
that kinda crap.
2000s. Yeah.
So, anyways, Phil, thank you again for taking the time to join us. Again, for the listeners, all the links will be in the show notes that we talked about today. And check it out and get on the path to becoming a dangerous man.
Awesome, Scott. Thank you very much, man.
Thanks for listening to the Drive On podcast. If you want to support the show, please check out Scott's book, Surviving Son, on Amazon. All of the sales from that book go directly back into this podcast and work to help veterans in need. You can also follow the Drive On podcast on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and wherever you listen to podcasts.